feel like we need stormtroopers.
It's so much quieter than the old one! What? I said, it's so much quieter than the old one! What? What? Oh yeah, it's so much quieter than the old one! What? I said it's... Oh, never mind.
Hey, guess what? We're gonna take that fancy new shuttle and go on a field trip.
Oh, where to?
We're gonna go see him.
Ah! No! I can't see him! He can't see me! No, Richard, no! No, there's no way we can go to Planet Doom! No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes.
No!
Yes. Well, that'll make that a lot easier.
What am I doing here? Oh, you bastard, you total evil git! You dragged me in here and went on... No, we can't be going to see him! I can't see him! Oh, I can't!
You have no idea how satisfying that is. But hey, since it's quite a long journey, why don't we watch an interview I did with Jacqueline Samuda and then watch her film, 50 Questions. Roll that Wi-Fi.
Yeah, I got 50 questions for you right here.
Hey, it's my pleasure to welcome to the show and the new space station, Jacqueline Samuda. Great name.
Thank you.
Leo Award-winning actress, director, here to talk about her 2003 film, 50 Questions. Welcome to the show.
Well, thank you very much, Richard. Yeah, I'm happy to be here.
Tell us about that. Tell us about what you've been doing and then tell us a lot about 50 Questions.
Okay, well, 50 Questions having been done in 2003, a lot has happened since then. It's now 2016.
Thank you.
As you mentioned, I just won a Leo Award. It was the best guest performance for a female in a dramatic TV series for a show called Ties That Bind. And that was fantastic. And I was just talking a little bit earlier to some people about how great an experience that was, and my whole last year of 2015 and so far 2016 have been great years for me as an actress. And it's allowed me to fall in love with the industry again, because sometimes, although I started writing and directing originally in theater and then in short film, so that I would have an outlet for, a creative outlet. So if I had something to say, I didn't have to wait for the phone to ring and be cast as an actress in a role to express myself. I could just do it. In the last several years, I've been focusing more on acting and just having some really special experiences. And this one of Ties That Bind was great. I was playing a secretly battered woman who has to reach out and ask for help after she's been kind of concealing this terrible situation at home for some time. And it was an absolutely just great experience. And then that was balanced with, a holiday movie and, and then just recently in May of 2016, I shot a fabulous independent film with the working title of The Prodigal Dad. And that was like the perfect indie film experience, but with some really amazing, talented local actors. And I was very lucky to get to play with them. People like Beverly Elliott and Brad Drybrough and Mackenzie Gray and David James Lewis, and directed by Rob Wenzik, and he wrote it as well. And it was produced by Scott Weber, and I understand you met him recently.
Yes, we have.
Yeah.
He was on the last edition of the space station before T.O.A.S.T.Y blew it up. Yeah.
Fun fact, Scott Weber and I did theater together as teenagers in Kingston, Ontario.
It's fantastic. That's great. It's a small community, isn't
Yeah,
it?
a small community,
yeah.
and it's great to so many years later to be working in the film business, and that I say that was such a great indie film experience because we had these very experienced performers and people behind the camera, and then there were also some real new crew and new just out of school. Actors, and they were experiencing a kind of mentorship experience,
right.
and so it was just a great balance. Lots of fun, great humor, but really good content, and some good acting opportunities in the film as well. It was great.
So take us back to 2003.
Okay.
Because when I talked to Scott, I think he was 2000, 2001, something like that
Right.
with his film.
Yeah.
What was going on then, and how did 50 Questions come about? How did the whole Crazy Eights thing happen?
Yeah, well, 2003 was, wow, I mean, I had a very, very busy life. At that time, I believe I was still on the board of Pacific Cinematheque. I was president of the board. I was on the advisory board for Women in Film and Television Vancouver, having been president for a couple of years, vice president before that. So doing a lot of that kind of charity work, nonprofit arts work, very satisfying.
Most of us call that being in the industry.
Yeah. And I was also, I had 2 young children. So life was very, very intense. But that was a period of several short films all in a row, which was really exciting and fun. And I had known some of the people who were involved in Crazy Eights and just always thought it was amazing. And I'd started making a couple of short films in other competition settings, like the 48-hour film festival and that kind of thing.
Right.
So I knew how fun it was and how creative you can become when you have very little to work with, including very little time. So, I mean, we may all be used to not having a lot of money, but sometimes you can stretch it out. And for these competitions, and Crazy Eights, obviously the competition is to get in, and there's amazing people trying to have the opportunity. And at that time, the guidelines have changed a bit, but at that time it was 8 filmmakers, I hope I'm saying this all right, and $800 in 8 days and so on.
Was it still the one DV cassette at that time?
Well, my year was the very first year that it was HD, but I believe that was one of the parameters. Gee, time's passed. But yeah, we were definitely really, really limited. And so I had this script that I had written in one afternoon. I was just writing a lot at that time, and I used to love to go out for walks, and I had a little recorder. I mean, now we'd use our phones, right? And I might even have actually phoned my own home answering machine and
to leave the message
and recorded it in the message. And I did this 8 or 10 minute script, and it almost didn't change at all. It was essentially an interview between a very busy workaholic mortgage insurance broker, and he knows that he's up for a performance review, and he goes in to take this quiz that is going to determine whether he gets to keep his job or not, and the person conducting the interview is someone who was a temp at the office just recently, a temp who had kind of wanted to date him, and she starts asking him questions that don't seem to really belong on a performance review survey. So it was actually really fun.
That sounds very fun.
Yeah.
That's great. And so it was still 8 days?
Yeah,
Shoot
it was
to finish,
8 days. Yeah.
Editing,
everything finished completely. Yeah, it was pretty intense. It was a big learning curve, partly because I was working with HD for the first time, and the cinematographer Jane Weitzel had just done another competition film with me, a short film called Look that I absolutely loved, and we'd worked together, with this little digital camera, and now we were dealing with this whole HD thing. So it got away from us a little bit, but that's just the way it goes.
New stuff, limited time.
It was brand new
Just to see what happens, and
yeah.
That's fantastic. What a great story.
Thank you.
Well, great to have you on the show. Should we watch the film?
I'd love to.
Well, we have a little robot. I don't know if you've met him. His name is T.O.A.S.T.Y.
Oh, T.O.A.S.T.Y. Okay.
And T.O.A.S.T.Y. is quite a character.
Yeah.
And he owes me so much money now for blowing up the space station. But
he blew it up.
Yeah.
Bad dog.
Yeah, well, yeah. We'll get to that later. So let's watch that film. T.O.A.S.T.Y., roll that Wi-Fi.
Roll the Wi-Fi.
when they put your desk here. Anyone else would be distracted by the view. That should be a challenge even for you, Sensei. What are you doing, boning up on the aptitude test?
No, nailing down this mortgage. It's a toughie. You change the completion date, I won't lose a locked-in rate, and Mr. Dobson will save $8,000 a year.
Right. You're next. You nervous?
It's not an aptitude test, it's an efficiency review. You should be nervous.
Well, they tell you you're supposed to be a plumber. You really think they're gonna keep you on?
Huh?
Dude, you're next.
After lunch?
No, check the list. They changed it.
What?
Check it. You're late. Knock him dead.
Come in.
Janice?
Hi, Bob. Have a seat.
Hi, Janice. Weren't you a temp here?
Yes, I was. But I don't work here anymore. I work for Efficiency Aptitude now.
Oh, how weird.
I know, it is funny, isn't it? I was sitting right out there last week.
Well, don't you have to have special training to give these tests?
What do you think I've been doing for the last 7 days?
Am I your first?
50 questions. You'll be done in less than an hour. Ready?
I guess so.
Name? Check. Address? Check. See? 2 done for you already. Job title?
Assistant manager, residential accounts.
Nice. Spouse?
No. Why?
Why not?
Oh, I don't know.
Girlfriend?
What? No.
How long have you been single?
Is that one of the questions?
Try not to answer a question with a question. Are you gay?
Huh?
Do you prefer men?
No! That's not an appropriate question.
Why? Do you have a problem with gay people?
Oh, no. I didn't mean it like that. I don't think that they should be asking people that.
Well, don't shoot the messenger, Bob, okay? Any pets?
No?
What about fish?
You mean like to eat or?
Aquarium?
No pets. Dust bunnies and a couple of steaks in the freezer, but that's as close as I come.
What's more important to you, love or work?
Work, of course. I mean, this is kind of a funny survey.
Guess that's why you've been single for so long, huh? I worked here for 2 months and you wouldn't even come down to the cafeteria with me at lunch.
Oh, well, I was working.
Your mother thinks you work too much. She thinks you need to slow down and enjoy life more.
How do you know what my mother thinks?
Because I got to know her, Bob. She comes into the office once a week before you drive her to her bridge club in Aldergrove. Her name is Doris, and she bakes a mean brownie. You keep her waiting, so she talks to people in the office like me.
What's she supposed to wait downstairs at the front entrance?
She's a person, Bob, not a doorstop. She's a very nice person.
Oh, I love my mother.
Don't you think I'm nice?
Yes? What are you writing? You're not asking me the real questions.
I'm putting your answers down in order.
Yeah, but to the wrong questions.
Oh, Bob. Most of the questions are yes or no anyway. You have a 50-50 chance of saying the same thing no matter what the question is.
Oh, I need a breather.
Next section. Why wouldn't you have lunch with me when I asked you?
Is that what this is? I hurt your feelings?
I'm sorry, Bob, but I'm asking the questions here.
Janice, look. I didn't even know you wanted to have lunch with me.
Because you're stupid. I asked you, dummy. I said, Bob, want to go down to the caf?
Yeah, but I didn't know you meant it like that.
Because you always have your head up your computer. Do you know what you said to me?
No, what did I say? That I'm busy?
No, you said you're the temp, and then you went back to your monitor as if that answered my question. I asked you to lunch, Bob. It wasn't easy, you know. You did not answer my question.
I'm sorry, I just...
Look at you. You're approaching middle age. You're considered an adult in every country in the world, but you don't even have a fish, let alone a lover. What do you do for sex?
Oh, breather. Mr. Jenkins.
Bob, Janice!
Dad said we could use his office. Did you need to get in here?
Please, mi casa, su casa. We really miss you here. You were the best clerk we ever had. If it weren't for this damn downsizing.
I know, Jerry. I miss you guys.
Oh. Listen, you two take whatever time you need.
How did you get to know Mr. Jerry so well in 2 months? You remember my name.
Did you need a little breather, or can we continue?
Janice, look, you're obviously not sticking to the questionnaire, and I agreed to be a part of a survey, not to be the butt of some joke or some personal vendetta for doing something that I didn't even know that I did.
I don't hate you, Bob.
Well, and you know, some people may think I'm a loser around here, but I do a good job for this company, and I don't think I have to stay here for this.
I can just hand in the report incomplete.
Oh. Thank you.
They might interpret it as a lack of commitment to the company on your part. Just a heads up on that. I may be a $15 an hour temp, but they've paid efficiency aptitude $1,500 to conduct this survey. Staff cuts are decided as soon as the survey is complete and reviewed. I don't think Jerry's going to have time to get an explanation from you for the lack of completeness.
I want to answer the real questions.
What are the real questions, Bob?
Let's try. Are you okay?
Are you okay?
Mm-hmm, yeah.
Before I go, do you have any questions for me?
Can I, call you?
Oh yeah, confident like 3 o'clock confident. Hey!
Hey, Roger.
Here for my 1 o'clock with Bob.
Oh, I think he's just down the hall.
Hey, did you see Janice? She dropped off her temp card.
Excuse me, Bob?
Oh, Bob.
Bob?
Excuse me.
Just a few questions that...
Heads up!
I got it!